Okay.
So construction is on target to finish on time. This is the graduate student building that is over along Sunnyside Avenue. You can see Sunnyside Avenue there at the top. Thought I'd just give you a few little details about it. So this wing on this side is the east side. It is almost complete. They have put in the cabinets, the finishes are nearly done. Come mid to late December, they're gonna actually lock off that entire wing and it will be completed. And then a couple months later, that next wing to the north, all the way over to the lobby area will be complete. And they're just gonna work their way around to the community center. So they are coming along very quickly on that. The outside curb and gutter should be done in the next 3 weeks before it gets too cold. And they're paving it in so it will minimize the mud. The mud that is going out, will keep it from going out on Sunnyside. And it will keep our cars clean in the main office parking lot. They have been covered with dust all summer, so we're pretty excited about that. We call this building C. It's gonna also be called Spruce. So both graduate student buildings will be called the same thing, but we've kind of designated it right now as building C through the building process. It has a move-in date for students of August 1st. Thank you to those residents in Spruce who helped us with furniture questionnaires and gave us information about what they liked and didn't like about the furniture. We've been using those surveys to determine what kind of furniture we'll put in the new buildings. And we have that nearly solidified and putting in our furniture order in the next month or so. If you want to go to the next slide, this is our family building. It's not quite as far along as I'm sure you know from looking out your windows, or as you drive by. This, you can see, we call this building E because it looks like kind of an E up there. They are starting up there at the top. They have nearly all the windows in and they've been doing window testing. They'll start working on the rough-ins on the inside in the next few weeks, and then they're just gonna work their way around to the bottom of the E there. You can see over on the right-hand side, there's excavation there. Over on the right-hand side. Yep, right there. That's gonna be the new daycare center. That they should start pouring the cement, the footings on that in the next few weeks as well. So that is really coming along. If you're interested, the main office is gonna be on that south end part of the E there. Will be in the basement area, so you can see right where that is there. Building E will be completed of February of 2026. So it'll be a few months behind the other building. So right now we're at 45% completion. Just to kind of talk about completion dates, that also to go along with that is the closure dates for the West Village, the 8, 9, and 1,000 courts. That'll happen on May 31st of 2026. And we will stop placing students, residents in there in December of 25. Also, I talked with our leasing team today and they asked that I share that if you are interested in moving over to the East Village, if you're in the West Village right now and want to move so you can stay longer than 2026, to get that application of transfer in as soon as possible, because we have a long waiting list. We want to make sure that we can get you moved over. Yeah, you have a question?
Yeah, a question about the transfer list, because I think somewhere in the transfer documents, it says that you must be a resident for 6 months before you can apply to get transferred to the East Village if you live in the West Village. For residents that are like just moving into the East Village and then they're like caught off guard, like, oh no, we didn't do the fine print, we didn't know. Is there any exception for that 6 months, or do they stop to wait 6 months?
So you mean if somebody moves into the West Village before that 6 months? Yeah, we'll stop putting people in there 5 months before. So yeah, if we put somebody, we will make an exception for that. So you'll be able to transfer over to the East Village if we have space available over there. Are you a resident right now?
Oh, no, I'm a CA, sorry.
Oh, okay, you're just asking.
Sooner the better, but.
So we go through the whole process when somebody is moving into the West Village right now. We explain to them what's happening, how they need to go about transferring if that's what they want to do. Most students right now are actually applying to be in the East Village and not looking at the West Village. So when we do put somebody over there, we make sure they understand what's happening. Yeah, thank you for that question. All right. All right, well, we'll go on to other construction updates. The south and the west roads, you've probably noticed that the west road is open. We're all very excited about that. We do ask that as you're using the west road, we know that there's that long straight stretch there by the gardens, that you're really careful as you drive and follow the speed limit. There's a lot of construction workers that are walking back and forth there because they park at the church. And then you'll probably notice that we took the fence down at the gardens, and we still have people working in the gardens for the next month or so. So be really careful of kids and things that are walking along that garden area. The South Road had to be closed because we're working on a university fiber line. It should be open again in the next 3 weeks or so. So it'll be nice to have all three entrances open again. So we'll go on and talk about the gardens. They're going to be closing here in the next couple weeks. There should be a dumpster, I believe, coming out the end of this week, early next week, for those who need to clean out their garden space. And then it will close the first weekend of November. The bowl. Do you know what I'm talking about when I talk about the bowl, the grassy area there in the center of the new Sunnyside complex? So you probably noticed that the barrier has been taken down. It was taken down late last week, and we are welcome to use that grassy area, walk out on it, play on it, whatever you want. We are having issues with the bottom part of that bowl being swampy. It's having some drainage issues. And so we just ask that you be careful as you're down there at the bottom. You may want to wear boots or something because it's been swampy for the last 6 months or so since they planted it. But we have turned it back over to the landscape contractors, and they're working on fixing the drainage, and it should be fixed by next summer. So feel free to use it whenever you would like to. All right, the other topics that we have that residents submitted were maintenance and apartment upkeep, safety and security, and ways to get involved at Sunnyside. So we'll start with the maintenance updates. First of all, just a quick reminder that if you have any maintenance requests for your apartment or anywhere else on the property, that you submit that request through your resident portal. That's the quickest way for our maintenance team to get a hold of that work order and to get onto it. If you call into the office, it just adds an extra step. You're welcome to do that anytime that you feel like you maybe need to explain it better or something like that. But the quickest way that we'll get somebody out to your apartment is through the resident portal. Our maintenance team has been working on ways in which we can, I'm going to skip one here, reduce the false in-unit alarms that are happening in the Cottonwood and Spruce buildings. We are having a lot of alarms go off inside the apartments. And a lot of it is happening when you cook with high heat, because they're not only smoke alarms, but they're temperature alarms. So if you think that you're going to be cooking with high heat, we ask that you think about opening up your window to kind of let some of that heat out as you're cooking. And then you can also turn on your exhaust fan to kind of draw in that cooler air from outside. Another thing that triggers those alarms is a hot, steamy shower. So when you take a hot, steamy shower and then you open up your door, the steam rises and sets off the alarm. So same thing, just open your window. If your alarm goes off, just open your window. You can even turn on that exhaust fan again to kind of dissipate that. Cleaning stairwells and laundry rooms that I skipped. Maintenance has had a really busy summer, and so they kind of put cleaning stairwells and laundry rooms in the East Village kind of on the back burner for a few weeks. They're back on it, and they should be cleaning those on their regular schedule. If you see that it's not being done, let your CA know, and then we can make sure that that's done, but that is back on their schedule. Air conditioning in Cottonwood and Spruce. It seems to be a continuing issue, and we're having problems again with the cooling towers that is in that outdoor, we call it the central plant. It's outside of 796. And maintenance has been, it's supposed to be run all automatically by computers, and right now that system is down, and so maintenance has been operating that central cooling plant all manually, and they've been spending hours up there keeping our air conditioning running. They have been excellent and doing an amazing job of keeping it going for the last 2 to 3 weeks. We have a contract, the contractor who put it in is back on site and is working to fix that and get the electrical system and everything working again. And then we had a question about animal waste bags and disposal. The question was if we will supply animal waste bags. And the answer is no. We are not a pet-friendly complex, although we do allow assistance and service animals. And part of that assistance and service animal agreement is that you clean up after your own pets and provide your own equipment for that. So just a reminder that service animals and assistance animals require approval through CDA. And the only pets that are allowed are fish in 10-gallon tanks or less, aquarium tanks or less. So when it comes to cleaning up after our service animals and our assistance animals, we ask that once you bag the waste, that you place the bags in the cedars in the outdoor dumpsters, and in Cottonwood and Spruce in the indoor dumpsters. So that's located, the information on that is located in the resident handbook. And then the last thing that our maintenance team is working on, that they're getting prepared for winter. And our grounds crew does an amazing job. And right now they're repairing and installing new sod in areas where we've dug up utilities this winter. You've probably noticed those areas where the grass is missing. So they're getting that in before the snow starts falling. They're removing dead trees. They're winterizing irrigation and sprinkler systems. They're prepping all their equipment so that when the first snow falls, they're ready and have it available to start scraping snow. And then they've been busy pruning branches over the sidewalks for winter safety, so we don't have any limbs or tree branches falling on anybody in the ice. So that's what our maintenance team is working on right now, plus 100 other things that are going on all at the same time. So it's kind of a little overview of what they're doing. So next is safety and security. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about safety and security at Sunnyside. Resident safety is our number one priority. We want to make sure that everybody has a place that they can live and feel comfortable and not worry about security issues. We partner with Campus Public Safety, and we spend approximately $150,000 a year providing safety and security patrols here at Sunnyside Apartments. They spend approximately 75 hours per week on all 3 of our properties, which include the East Village, the West Village, and Fort Douglas, our properties in Fort Douglas. One of the biggest things they do for us and spend the most time probably is our lockouts. So if you are ever locked out of your apartment after hours or even during the day, just call campus security and they'll come on and lock the door for you. Or if there's ever a time where you feel unsafe, you see someone that just doesn't look right here on the property, please feel free to call them and let them know and they'll come out and check that out. Do you want to talk
Yeah.
about Walk in the Dark, Garrett?
Yeah, so resident council this past week did what we call Walk in the Dark. It's not necessarily in partnership with the university Walk in the Dark, but it's modeled off of the university Walk in the Dark that happens on campus. And so resident council, we on Friday night, last Friday night, went and just walked the courts just to see what parts, what lights were out or what was amiss that would maybe lead to areas that would make people feel unsafe. And so we've noted each of those and have sent those in to maintenance to be fixed or to be addressed. And then just a note to everyone, and this goes off of what Wendy was saying earlier, is if you do see a light out in your court or something like that, you can always submit a maintenance request or at the very least reach out to your CA and ask your CA about it. And so anyways, just want to let you all know that we are looking at those things and paying attention to those things, but also feel free to submit them on your own when you notice them, because lights might go out in the wintertime, and it's especially important when it gets dark early. So anything any of you would add? Amanda, Madeline, Thomas? Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you. The last thing I just wanted to touch on for safety and security is just to make sure that as we're going in and out of the bike rooms or the laundry rooms in the Cedar apartments or in our new buildings when they're locked, just to make sure that there's nobody piggybacking in behind you. It could be awkward to say to somebody, do you live here? Do you have a card to get in? Or, whatever you would need to say. But it is important that we make sure that we don't have people coming in who don't belong here. So that's just a reminder to just be vigilant and keep your eyes out for people who may try to piggyback in. And then our last section that residents wanted to know about was activities and how to get involved at Sunnyside Apartments. So I'm going to turn the time over to Amanda and she's going to talk about involvement.
Yeah, so Sunnyside is actually really good about providing a lot of opportunities. Oh, do you want me to come up there?
Yeah, would you?
Yeah.
You can take my seat now.
Okay. Hello. Okay, yeah, so Sunnyside's really great at providing a lot of opportunities. There's a link on this slide here that will take you to our calendar of events, and all of those events will be there. And so as for getting involved, attending them, but also you're also welcome to volunteer to help at any events that you want to. Always happy to accept help. There's also the weekly emails that go out this week at Sunnyside. And I believe, do you sign up through the resident portal for that or?
For the weekly emails?
Yeah.
No, you just get them as a
Okay.
resident.
Yeah, so you should just get those, so make sure you check those. There's a lot of great reminders in there, as well as a detailing of the events that are happening both here and around the community. We also have the community club activities, which happen on Thursdays, usually morning and afternoon. There's twice a month. And those, like it says here, are focused on social and educational activities. So we've done things there was a healthy eating seminar for parents and children. And then one time a fire truck came. So there's a lot of fun activities there, as well as the community assistants have their court and building floor activities every so often. Are they monthly? Every month or so. So those are super fun. And these are just examples of some of the ongoing activities. There's a high fitness class that happens at 7 o'clock on Wednesdays at the Cottonwood Community Center, and that's a lot of fun. It's free, a good way to come connect with people and work out, as well as a free English conversation class on Tuesdays at 7, and that's in Cottonwood 796 on the 5th floor. Again, great way to connect with people. We also hold our resident council meetings. We had one this morning. They're the last Tuesday of every month at 8. And people are more than welcome to attend, either just to see what we're doing or The fourth Tuesday. Yes, thank you. So yeah, fourth Tuesday of every month, always welcome to attend, either just to watch or if you have something that you want to present or bring up to us, you're always welcome to come. Yes.
And also, if you can't attend, you're welcome to send me an email. So, and I can have a Twitter chat, or any of us.
Yeah.
But
Perfect. Turn it back to you guys.
Thank you, Amanda. Well, thank you for coming this evening. We're grateful that you live at Sunnyside Apartments and for the time you've taken out of your busy schedule to come and join us and to learn more about what's going on. And we can open it up for questions if anybody has questions for a few minutes.
I've got one question off the Zoom.
Okay.
I saw that you just signed a public-private partnership for a new dorm on campus. Is this the future for the university? These partnerships almost always lead to outrageous housing costs that the university can't control. Is this the reason family housing is so high in the new buildings? I'm unsure what the benefit is for the university itself with these partnerships.
So the P3 public partnership is with HRE, which is Housing and Residential Education, which is the undergraduate housing office of the university. And I'm not really privy to exactly what went on with that partnership. But I do know that in the profession of university housing, that the P3 model is one that many universities are going towards as housing prices get more and more expensive. But I cannot speak to our P3 that we're doing here on campus. So Sunnyside Apartments was built through the bonding system and it is being self-paid through the auxiliary system. And just the cost of building the new buildings and having those bonds that need to be paid back is part of the reason why the costs have gone up for housing. The old infrastructure we've kept at a very low rate for so long because we know that they have problems with plumbing and other things. And they're just not, we can't charge that high rate for them because they have some issues and they're older. And so we've kept that rate down for a long time, but with the new buildings, we've had to raise the rate to be able to meet that bond payment. Any other questions?
Yes. Is there any possible way that West Village will close earlier than May 2026?
No. Nope, it's May 31st, 2026. And that has been guaranteed to me that will be the date, that we will not move it up any sooner. Any other questions? Nope.
Nope.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming.
Oh, I may have just got one.
Oh,
How soon do you anticipate East Village closing?
East Village will close on or before not May, on or before 2030.
Okay.
There has not been an exact date set for that, but we're shooting for 2030.
On the same note, would all of East Village close at once or would it be phased like the West Village has been?
It'll be closed all at once.
And then Maddie, to answer your question, people will stop moving into the West Village in December of 2025.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks,
Have a good
everyone.
evening and have some refreshments.